The easiest way to learn the Fortnite meta is to always watch a Camiseti game. Now, they're obviously playing with Cherry. That's their trio they've managed to pick. Landing at Frenzy Farms. So let's see if we can actually figure out what the meta is for Remix. So the first thing I think I would note here is that off spawn has just taken forever. I've skipped just to save you all of that, but actually just farming and actually getting cap mats takes so long. So the kind of thought process I'm having on that is that a lot of these kind of edge map teams, wherever you're landing, really, well, Sweaty's not so bad, but I was in Steamy Stacks, or in particular the places like, what's it called, Camp Cod. I'm gonna press play, there we go. Camp Cod down here, like, if you don't pull a zone there, trying to get cap metal, cap brick, and cap wood takes a long time in this season. So immediately kind of thinking mid-map is already going to be way more powerful just purely because the amount of time it takes to loot and harvest. Now our surge strats. Surge strats are just kind of dumb this season, obviously. So yeah, the surge meta is pretty much just them. They're on the middle of their map, just basing on top of the house. All three of them with the scoped AR. Currently, yeah, every single one of them scoped AR. But important to note is that notice that none of them have popped any big shields yet. So the one thing here is that these scoped ARs and weapons, like, you're not going to get beamed for 200 HP or something as you're trying to, like, you know, trade. So for example, when they're trying to trade with this other Polish team up here, you're not going to get 200 ode like you would with like a burst, or if you get 3-2-1 or something, because these weapons just do such low damage as it is already. I mean, Giras might die because he's got such low HP up there. He's not popping a new shield either. Because look how little every single shot does here. So if you get up to 200 HP and you're trying to trade Surge, there's no point. You're just going to waste your bigs. So they just stay at 50 HP so that they just use minis instead, and then they keep their bigs for later on, which makes a ton of sense. See, they kill Giras. But like, look, because of the scoped ARs, look how slow this is to even try and like chop out the knock body. Like, even if you get a knock or something, you're just never going to. So, yeah, kind of stupid. Important note here, which is something that's really cool, is notice how Cherry has cabbages. Now, cabbages always have played a historical role, mainly of just being bugged in competitive Fortnite. But this is really interesting because, you know, if they get weak, obviously they're not even wasting minis. Like, they just basically can stay 100 white and then pop cabbages and then just trade Surge like this. Like, this might have to be low-key one of the worst Surge metas of all time, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, because Cammy's dropping 15 cabbages to say. So they're not even wasting medkits. They're not wasting bigs. They're not wasting medkits here. So this is like super efficient. Kind of just like kind of just a dumb meta though. Like, Surge just needs to be changed at this point. Like, Surge has got to be changed. Like, no matter what the loot pool is, there's always some way to have like some odd trades or some kind of stupid meta like this. The poles are always going to trade with each other too, apparently. As teams get close, they start to pop minis, which makes sense. It's kind of awkward, actually, because as teams rotate in past you, they can just, you know, for this particular also, they can just sit in here. And I guess Hydro, if he's ADSing from here, he can probably see up. Let me see from his perspective. Yeah, you can't really see from here. But in-game, if you were in here and you're ADSing, you could almost definitely see their location there. So, a bit of a strange one. A bit of a counterable strategy, to be honest, which is a bit strange. Yeah, he just gets headshot sniped. This is the thing that all three players is carrying grapplers. Means obviously, like, as soon as one gets sniped, they can just jump straight back in. Even if you're Wolvax's team, who got the snipe and they look probably like they're keying. Yeah, like, these guys don't have grapplers. They hit the headshot snipe, they don't have grapplers. So there's just no chance they're going to get up to that knock and that finish. Like, Camiseti are absolutely going to be able to get the revive here. So, yeah, I guess, like, Grappler just seems always worth carrying regardless of where you are, if you're in solos or trios. Even if all three of you can't get it, like, you can still do stuff like this where you can kind of get back to each other really quickly, get the double res, and then there's, you know, just back in the game, basically. Still not, they all got big pots, and they're still all not popping them. Well, Cammy's up to 100, but just more fruit boxes. Yeah, I guess those fruit boxes are really good. How many are here, actually? So cooler boxes, they have a good few cooler boxes they can use. 100% spawn rate. Are they 100% spawn rate? Interesting. Okay. Thank you, Assyrian, by the way. All this stuff. So yeah, I guess, like, in the early game, using the cooler boxes, or in their case, as they rotate after Surge, saves them a bunch of bigs, because you can get, you know, what they call coconuts and all this kind of stuff. So there'll be a few other drop spots like this. Risky Reels. There's not too many here. sweaty, kind of. Probably not. There's about 4. This drop spot obviously has tons, so maybe in solos landing here, if you're uncontested, you don't have to waste your minis or your bigs. You could just pop the coolers and then grab some of the, you know, small shields to get from that. Misty, probably, yeah, another one that you could do. Depends how contested you are. Again, if you have the time to. There's not that many other drop spots where it would make sense. I guess if you land in the middle building here, in lazy as well, that could work, and back. So yeah, I guess coolers will spawn super strong too, because now, like, one of the big things we've seen so frequently is that the loot this season is so bad. Like, it's so difficult to make sure you've got like tons of heals left, and because they basically didn't waste their bigs trading for surge, they minimally used their minis because they could just use the cabbages that were there, and then they used a lot of the cooler boxes too. Now they actually have a good loadout as they leave their drop spot. Now being uncontested here definitely helps a lot. Yeah, really good like early game setup so they can keep themselves moving after that. It's also cool here that I forgot all of this has corn in it too. So all of the like the long grass here, so you break that down, get corn, free whites, which I totally forgot about, I'm not gonna lie. So as Cherry's doing here, right? For example, like if you want to play in Storm, break that down, get some corn out of it. So that's also another maybe consideration here, is that if you're a team that's in the northeast of the map, north, and you're rotating through Frenzy and you need whites, like say if you were a Dirty Dogs team and they could just rotate into Frenzy, break some of this down, grab yourself some corn. I don't know if it's 100% spawn rate, but that allows you to play Storm a little bit longer. And if there's rifts and things like that, that could be like a really viable drop, like alternative. Same with up here. I swear there's a lot of whites up here from memory as well. I'd have to check. Let's see what these guys are doing. Maybe there is. These guys. There's apples. Yeah, there's apples here. That's the one, yeah. These guys are just scuffed. I don't know if we should be using them as a as a proxy for how to play well, but... And then they go to this next campfire too. So that's another thing, that this map has a ton of campfires on it, right? Like, if we go... Like, look how many campfires are on this map. This is way more than is on, like, really any other map, if I can remember correctly. So similarly, like, knowing these locations and playing zone to zone in these, like, if you're playing Storm in the early game, like, you can really keep away from a lot of people. I might try that today in the solo cash cup. Like, where are the campfires here? Like, I just play Storm, campfire... Campfire. Like, say, imagine I had a southeast zone, right? And I'm landing up here in Steamy, which is my solo drop spot, or what I'll be trying today. Get a bunch of loot in Storm, go to the campfire, go to the next campfire, grab a bunch of apples if you need to, go to the next campfire, get the sweet corn here if you need to. You know, like, you could so easily play Storm this season. So I think Storm's going to be super strong as well. Yeah, because they got Surge so early, it's like, you know, all these other people might be struggling with Surge, but they've had their strat where they basically just traded so early, and now they could just play Storm like this, which is crazy. I don't know if there's a rift spawn. I don't know if they'd want to rift from here, though. Well, let's see. Okay, campfire runs out. And there's a boat. And then they're in Deadside. And they just boat. Yeah, they just fully boat into Deadside, 6th zone here. Because this is still a 2-tick, right? Yeah, it's still a 2-tick Storm, so... And you just create a bunch of space, and you're in. And now you just got to play the game out from there. Wow, okay, that's so cool. Using the grapples to get into Deadside. This is really good, because again, you know, they're how many mats down? They're like 50 mats down each. So you just grapple backside, and then you immediately just refarm everything. And really importantly, they didn't use metal there when they got in, because metal's like impossible to refarm in this area. So they can just refarm wood, they can refarm brick, and then they're just chilling from inside of Misty. I was gonna say, this is where Snipe comes in handy. Let's see a bang cami. Relying on snipes for Surge is super dangerous though. Nice, beautiful headshot. Insta grapple, his teammates grapple up on him too, but that you need that body for Surge, and obviously like the 100 damage and the loot and everything, so useful. So immediately 240 above now after that, which is nuts. So this in-game, Seti gets no kills, Cami gets a few, and so does Chari. But I actually want to watch Seti because I want to watch him as the Tarper. I've not watched like a Seti Trios Tarping game in like 3 years. I wanted to bring me back. All the hards go immediately to Seti, and it pulls to them, so good zone for them. Scouting height, which is interesting given their current layer. Height's backside here, so they can just look to spray them out and chop them out. Waste their mats, basically. It's not like a ploy to take height from that, but as soon as they go for it, like another team, if they're backside, they just get free kills. Or you get free grief on them, basically. Sorry, not free kills. Look at the pre-planning from Seti here. So their front side, so that means that Seti doesn't have to tarp. You can just spend time actually all triple spraying, looking for kills, looking for damage. Now that the zone's kind of caught up a little bit, all triple grappler front side and claim low immediately. And literally, look how like front side they are. Just right touching Storm already. And them being so front side, A, means no one can cut them off. But it also means that like Cammy and Seti back here, did they get any kills at this point? Don't get any kills here. But this just opens up so many opportunities for Cammy and Chari to just go for frags, go for elims. Like you just, the game gets put on kind of easy mode a little bit if you're setting them up like this. Starting to go over water. I notice how like Seti's not really doing anything this whole time. Like he's letting Chari and Cammy stay all the way back, and he's building in metal to make sure it's like he can't get like triple edit on, or not triple edit, pre-edit on and stuff. And now that he's like built into the zone here, he's finally into the zone transition. Now's when he finally actually like decides, okay, I need to look back, go for some like anything, you know, just go for a couple damage, go for try to get a kill or something. Hards are now split. And again, another thing, I want to see when this zone about to pop. So yeah, this is what I was expecting from him. Right, wait until the zone's about to pop here. So this is a trio tarping classic. This is something that if you watched a lot of my videos back in chapter 2 when trios was big, this is a tarping masterclass, right? Look at the position of where they've tarped to here. They don't know where the next zone is pulled, right? But they're not tarping into zone. They're not tarping to this position where a lot of these teams are. Look how deep they've gone in already. They're so far. And the reason for this is relatively simple. If the zone pulls here, they're already front side. If it pulls back, they have a tarp they can go into here. If it pulls this way, they can wrap round the dead side here. And, you know, if it pulls down this way, obviously they're at front side and they're dead side already. So by tarping that slight bit into the zone transition, they're already so far ahead of everyone. And they basically have a free rotate regardless. The only difficult rotate they get, really, is if it pulls over this direction. And that's because then they either have to wrap round and this way, which is map materials, or go over the top, which is also kind of awkward. But they basically set themselves up for like the vast majority of zone pulls just by going a little bit deeper into the zone transition. Now they wait. Yep, see? And immediately, a little bit of woods, just quick, cheap tarp to try and get themselves front side. Now that it pulls here. And now elevated off. There's people in their lair, so they just go up. I notice it's kind of scuffed and kind of awkward. So notice the difference of when they're fine. He's now all three players are now in the same box, right? They're all super close to each other because it's kind of scuffed, right? The only time they split before was when they were in metal, full tarp, everything was kind of safe. But now it's kind of sketchy. Like they're just running. There's so many players near them. All three of them are on the same box so they can make plays together if they need to be. As soon as it gets sprayed, good job from Seti to actually continue tarping to get ahead there to try and give themselves space. And now, again, nice, good kill into Anas. Now that things are more open, now that things have slowed down, they're a bit more front side. Now they can spend the time to do this. And again, a good thing. Seti had no hards. Cammy could take over for that moment. You know, there's kind of... I can't remember. I don't know what the word for it is. There's teamwork. But now they're into wood. Now Seti seems to have some hards. Don't know if it's from the refresh or not. They can tarp in. It basically just tarped all of these moving zones, right? Now again, importantly, when you're down to wood, you can see he's double layering every single time. Tops and bottoms. Tops and bottoms. To stop you just getting double sprayed from the top and below. More tarping basics. Using the grapples to get more loot. So you can see how they just have this like massive chode tarp down the middle of the zone here. And they're just using that to just kill anyone that comes near them at that point. I mean, I say kill anyone. They've only got 3 elims, but... So here, maybe... I didn't check the zone transition here. It keeps pulling max. And they weren't as ahead this time, but you couldn't really get ahead. As Seti on those 9 builds, they were getting a refresh backside zone. So now's the kind of point where, again, Cammy can take over. Kind of scuffed. Good layer change. Now's the point where, like, you kind of just play out... They've kind of just basically played out all their mats, right? Like, you don't get a refresh early, you're not going to get a good refresh. So, 15 builds, 7 builds, 12. Now it kind of becomes a point of just, like, sticking on each other and just playing well as a team, because they do really good to stay alive this game. I'm going to watch now from Cammy, because tarping becomes less important at this point, because they've all run out of mats. Now they're all together, all in one box. Seti's going to try and set him up as well as he possibly can. Cammy taking over again, so he has some builds. Everyone getting healthy. Splitting some mats to Cammy. And good that builds don't break these rocks anymore. Still full trio in his lair, trying to spray them off. Not overextending by any means. Overlow is cracked. Using the minimal builds they have to try and go for kills. Come on, our Scottish goats. Yep, again, same thing. They're just all sticking together. That is a crazy psycho play, but... Look how synchronized that was. I want to go back and watch that, actually. Hold on. Again, as soon as they're low mats, everyone's together. Everyone's doing the same thing. And this kind of height retake is like a perfect example of that. I don't know if they got a beam on height or what, but like, well, because they're alive, are they like the only trio full alive right now? Probably not, but they're alive. The points aren't working, so I can't do that way. That's a full trio. Sorry, it's bugging. There we go. Solo, 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 duo. Yeah, so there's two, them, another trio. So, like, the fact that they've all just stayed alive. What's going on here? No. What is this? Nice bug. I love Fortnite. Yeah, so they're basically one of two trios left alive. So, at this point, it's like they played out all their mats, and then they just play everything together. So, for here, all triple grapple. Exactly the same time. Chicho dead. Now it's like 3v1 on height. They all just try to jump in. They may not have many mats, but... I mean, who does at this point, right? So, like, the strong mid-games really set them up from here. Let's see, what do they do now? Cherry dies. Let's see what Cammy does. They don't win this game, spoiler, but... They basically all have... They have two builds between them all. Seems someone's grappling. Teeny absolutely dunks on him there. Nice kill from Cammy. If only there was Siphon. Uses Siphon mats. And yeah, it's like... The only other team, the Scottish boys win it. Let's go. The only other team that could kill them in that situation is literally the other full trio that's left alive. So, incredibly good strategy, but set up by a really, really nice mid-game. Like, obviously, they're not a frag-heavy team, like 5 kills second there. But, like, that game was so well set up just by the fact that they played Storm, had so many mats going into it. And, like, if you have a good mid-game and you have mats, you could just tarp the full end game. And just trying to stay alive as a full trio... Like, the amount of times someone in the other team will die, and that allows you, if you're still as a full trio, just to immediately have the advantage and win the game like that. It's, like, very, very common that happens. So, really good game from Cammy. Let's watch another team. All right, let's watch another game from Queasy, Teeny, and Chicho, who apparently have split. Apparently, they dropped Queasy for Chap, despite the fact they won this Cash Cup Finals, which is really funny. But yeah, the fact that they're landing Slurpy on con, this map is bugging so hard, is incredibly OP, because kind of in a similar way to the way that Cammy, Seti, and Chari had a ton of heals. Like, they immediately are just going to have a ton of heals because they have so much slurp here, right? So, and they're obviously going to get insta-metal from, the POI itself, and all of the metal barrels, all these other things out here. So, I mean, two really strong POIs, Frenzy Farm and Slurpy Swamps off the bat, first and second in the first Trio Cash Cup. It's not necessarily that much of a surprise. So their surge strat is kind of interesting here, how they have Teeny and Chicho leave Queasy behind in the POI to get cat metal or cat mats. Like, as I said, it's really difficult and really slow to get cat materials. So the fact that Teeny and Chicho have left early to go and kind of third party these teams is interesting, because in particular, look at the loadout, right? They left him the gold suppressed AR, and they both took the scoped AR to go for surge, right? So they've kind of gone for early surge damage, whereas they've just left Queasy to get more mats, basically, is what it seems like. None of them have mobility either, so none of them are carrying Grappler. I don't know if they didn't find it. I did kind of skip through the early looting game because it's just boring. But all carrying triple shields, because of course they have the advantage of, as I mentioned already, finding shields already at their drop spot. And currently, as of recording, these cars, just these ones, not any other ones, are still in comp. I don't know how long that'll last, I'm not going to lie. But interesting that Queasy goes ahead and then drops, as you saw there, a bunch of heals. What did he drop? Minis and bigs. ahead, and then you can go back and grab kind of some of the extra ones as Teeny and Chicha there were up trading damage and obviously took a little bit in return. Ah! There's the grapplers. So I guess they were just taking the heals so they could trade damage and kind of have extra left. And they are actually going to play triple grappler. So 2 teams already playing triple grappler. Good luck finding that off spawn, to be honest with you. It's a very RNG heavy if you manage to get that. But I guess if we have an entire POI on con, then, you know, the option's there. Unsurprisingly, basically using the car to get to a good hill position early here, where, I mean, this is a god spot. There's so many different, like, angles they can cover from here. But to be honest with you, I say it's a god spot. Are there actually going to be many teams rotating past here? Maybe not. Depends if they get a good zone pull or not. Like, they have good vision over to this side, but I don't know if any of these teams will actually rotate in past this way where they have visibility on them, but I guess we'll see. Because there's so many hills here, like, naturally, a good team would just rotate north away from this. All right, Queasy dropped all the mats. This is like a very, very common Queasy thing to do. He did this in duos with Thomas HT as well, where this is definitely something you should be doing. You're having one person drop, grab a bunch of mats. It's like, it takes so much brick to actually build a surge tower to start with, but it gives you so much advantage in terms of just visibility over everyone. And that, yeah, then you can also get back all your materials. So basically, you essentially do it for free, as long as you're careful enough and that your solo player doesn't die. It is very important if you're going to have someone do this in a stacked surge game that, yeah, grappler, so they can get back to you if need be. All right, in the car. 6 medkits still left. I guess they just stayed here for a little bit longer if they needed to. Now they use the car to rotate in the storm. Not going to car in the rift, are they? No, no, no. Dude just popping his med. Cool. Now they're 900 above. 6th zone. So kind of similar to the way that Kamiseti played this, where they're basically getting a good storm position and then just going in. I mean, this zone pull is kind of lucky again, but even if it wasn't, they could still... It's only still a 2-tick. Like, they could wrap all the way around in Deadside with a car regardless. Like, because they have no ammo, Teeny has decided to pick up a gray pistol. Because it's capped ammo, which is actually kind of smart, I'm not gonna lie. All right, zone pools favorably to them again because of like the position they've in. Like, look how everyone's fucking stacked up to this side, and there's just a couple teams here. That doesn't really make it an easy rotate though. Like, thankfully these guys are smart and they're going early, so you can just shadow them. Ooh, bunch of loot there. I would have gone for that, I'm not gonna lie. I'm too greedy. Right now, this use the grapples, kind of risky. Good awareness of what's in zone to get height. Now they're way up above everyone else, center zone. So many mats too. Like, they could actually just full try and hold height from here. I don't know if that's the play. I don't know when like the best time to hold height in trios is at this minute. So connecting everything well. You can see he's kind of scouting ahead there. He's looking like, where's the zone possibly going to go? Is there anything I can connect to? Which is nice. There's really like as many cones as possible. I love that. Do you see how he's looking through the cone there? And watching this team, you could see this team might potentially grapple up. There's like, he's very aware of the fact this team might grapple up. So he waited for them to do something before like actually going out, because he saw that they weren't actually trying to grapple up onto his head. So that is the one thing you really need to worry about if you're playing height this season, is the fact that teams can really just grapple up onto you. So I imagine their kind of height formation will have someone ulti height in wood. Let's see. So let's see what it looks like right now. So Queasy is at the front side, keeping really front. If they get chopped, they do have grapple, so it's fine. Chicho and Teeny are still all the way back. This is just like this is so difficult to chop out. It takes so much ammo to chop out, like, say, from backside or something like that. But you could still do it. It would be a lot of investment if they needed to. So yeah, they don't have anyone playing ulti height right now. It's literally just cone over everything. Again, height basics, like the angles he's playing here is off of a right-hand peak, which means that no one can spray him from kind of down here. If he was over here and these kind of floors weren't here, like, you know, the teams, if there was someone down here, might be able to spray him. So he's always kind of on a corner spraying down, which is super, super important too. I think he spotted that guy. Yeah, he spotted that guy back zone. So much loot there too. Nice free kill. With this AR, you've got to be so careful not to just like full spam it. You just kind of have to just be super, super careful and just go for like little tags because the bloom becomes so massive all of a sudden. Again, they have like 3 players of cap metal. So now zone pulls back, so they can just do a similar kind of thing here. Just, yeah, triple. Are they going to triple metal? No, just 2 out every time. And even if like Queasy gets chopped here, where he's like at the front, you know, you've got Chino and Chicho back. Teeny and Chicho at the back. He can just grapple and like reconnect up there too, so it's fine, even if he gets chopped. Again, this is like the 3rd or 4th time he's done the exact same thing. When he goes for an angle in the right hand peak there, he always puts floors under himself too, just to make sure he doesn't get sprayed out if someone like triple sprays him. Because even though you're in metal, it's still freshly built and could easily just drop you to death. There's probably not going to be too much interesting stuff on in this height retake, to be honest. Reconnects it a lot, which is interesting. I guess they just have so many mats that you can afford just to make sure you're extra safe. Because like, what does this look like from below? Yeah, like, how are you going to spray this out? Like, you could if you shoot back there, but it would just take so long. There's like, a team doesn't often have the opportunity to spray that much to knock like all of this height out. It's just, you're just not going to be able to do that. That wood was a bouncer. So now, basically, going into this next moving zone, as you can see, Queasy's just staying up with 2 meds. Even though they've taken a bunch of storms, so like them winning heal off's pretty unlikely. And Teeny and Chicho just dropped down to start fragging, basically, in the last moving zone. I mean, Queasy has 74 builds left, so he can just play this final moving zone out entirely as a solo. He doesn't really need them up there to help them maintain anything. And there's going to be so many like solos and duos and teams that already aren't full trios left that like you'll just be able to drop down to frag no problem. And the chance of someone being able to take height from you is so low. In particular, when he's staying so high up, like if you look up, like no one can grapple on him. The chance of someone spraying him out is almost impossible. So him being a solo up there makes sense. As long as Chino and Teeny doesn't die, that's it. Like they just have to be careful, pressure those players, and just don't die. Easy win for them. Super cool. Let's watch a solo game next. The final thing I want to watch is just like a fighting match, like a W key game, just to kind of really see like how do the teams actually go for kills, because these are just 2 like finals games. I want to watch like a high kill opens game to see how teams are actually fighting in trios. Let's see. I want to go a Flixie Vico Vino game. I want to watch Vino. This is a second, which means they choke somewhere. So let's see where they go here. I just want to see what these guys are doing in fights. All right, let's see how these guys fight. This is an opens game, super high elo though. Against Andlex, so it is other pros. So what's the formation looking like here? Because obviously Vico is Sneeko. Actually, Sneeko's a weirdo. That's not true. So there's a 2v2 over here. These guys are just fully boxed. Andlex is full spraying. He obviously doesn't know that Vico is sneaking on him. That makes a lot of sense. Impulse. The bang. Andlex does a good job of disengaging. So now it's basically a 2v2 and like a 1v1 at the same time. Andlex is doing a good job of running, but wow, nice shot. Ooh, the top left edit. That was actually so nice. That actually kind of baited the pre-fire there. If we look, say from Andlex's POV, nice shot. The wall's there. He's going to try to go for a pre-fire. Oh no, he just missed. Really nice from Vico. Now it's a 3v2. So now we want to see what happens with... Alright, so then let's see what the 2v2 is looking like over here. So Vino gets himself away here. You see how he backs himself up? Sure, he may be leaving Flixie to die. I think he's already dead as a solo. But also this means he gets double footsteps. So in this instance, he knows both these players are in front of him. So there's not any chance of like someone jumping over, getting like a shot into his back. You know, Vico's behind him here. And so by him kind of disengaging out of all of this, he knows 2 players are in front of him. He's not getting pinched, which allows now more of like a 2v2 scenario. So like in fights, looking for double or triple footsteps, which aka means all of your footsteps are in one direction in front of you, means that you know no one's like pinching around you and fighting, which actually usually gives you more time to heal. Flixie's dead. These guys are getting greedy. Beautiful movement there. Love the patience too. You see how patient he was there. Didn't just go for an edit when he had it. He took his time, made sure he had a good angle, didn't take any damage because he was, you know, 46 white. So All right, this is something I know is incredibly overpowered, and this is in solos, trios, whatever it is. As you can see, vending machine. I bet it's not going to work. My controller's not working. All right, vending machine. As you can see, 170 metal for slurpfish. Now, this is actually 2 slurpfish. So if it's, sometimes it can be wood, sometimes it can be brick. In fact, this metal's kind of unfortunate, but I guess it's in a good spot where you can get a bunch of metal. So basically, if you use 500 metal here, yeah, 490 metal, you can get 6 slurpfish into your inventory, which is so broken. In particular, when you've got to remember, heals, minis, bigs are super, super rare. So basically, wherever you are, always look out for vending machines because they can get you super stacked. I think Vico does that here, where he gets, let's see what he does. Did he buy more? Yeah, yeah, there's more there. So there's 2 more. So basically, you can just get insane amount of heals from these vending machines. They're so broken. You always need to scout them. And you might also, oh, okay, we're going to fight here. I'm getting ahead of myself here. You can also get launch pads from them too, which is obviously really important. They get fought here, which I just missed. So let me change this. All right, let's see what they do. Because this seems like a defense. They're getting snuck on, so. Okay, so Flixie gets beamed. They get grappled on. Immediately boxes. I want to see how he fights defensively here. Because this is something I really struggle at. Winning a fight defensively. In trios. How is the slurpfish? I don't know what this guy's doing. Oh my god, he's getting full pieced. And now they go for the shakedown again. Didn't shake him down. Interesting. Why are they not shaking down here? Oh, because he's just running. That's why he launched pad away. So I kind of want to see how that happens again, because like they just instantly turn this fight around. That's the one thing. I think fighting in trios is incredibly difficult to do if you're defensive. So I want to watch how this works from a wide. This is the one thing I really want to learn. So they beamed him. Where's Vino right now? Oh, Vino's miles away too. Oh my god, he couldn't be further right now. Okay. So this is technically a 3v2 to start with. So these guys impulse around. They go for like a really good pinch. Vico immediately creates space. So does Flixie. He's just full tarping down below. Alright, so he's done a good job getting space. One guy support spraying. So it's kind of like the other team have made this. They kind of made a mistake here by essentially not doubling one player. Because there's 2 of them here. So, well, this guy's kind of making like support spraying Vico in the back. But it's still like a 1v1 with a bit of support spray. This fight is also a 1v1. Where Flixie has a bunch of space and then Vino's behind. So, like, the other team kind of made the error here of having this guy just staying really far and spraying. So, like, this is like a classic trios error. You know, support spraying is really useful, but keeping this distance in support spraying is really bad. Like, if you want to support spray, you've got to be relatively close and still trying to take walls and get angles and things like that. But just by standing here and spraying against full metal, like, what is he actually doing here? Like, literally nothing. So that leaves his teammates to go into 2 1v1s, which is, you know, very unreliable. And now Vino has grappled on this kid. Now it's 3 1v1s going on at the exact same time. And you've got Vico, Vino, and Flixie. Like, they just aren't going to lose their ones. As you can already see, they've basically all managed to get the HP advantage off the rip. This guy slides past Vico, gets a free little pump. Vino is interesting because this is like a full build fight he's in. And because his player is lower like this, he can actually then support spray if needed. Because he's basically controlling this player at the same time. A lot of trios is about just like winning your ones. It's interesting how they kind of individually box up. The other team did make a pretty bad mistake here. I just full key in these kids. Just grappling on them with no info. Well, that was really nice from Flixie. You see how he double pickaxe this wall to replace it? And then just immediately move to the next box. So, like, he's basically cut off... If he gets his wall, these Germans are really well. He's cut off this box, and now he's cut off this box that Hedra's in as well. So, immediately kind of slowing down the pace here. And he gets the wall behind. Hedra makes what is actually kind of a crazy play, but absolutely whiffs the shot. Goes to the pre-fire. Sees his wall there. Gets the wall taken in front of him. Goes for a fat triple edit box. Misses. That would have worked had he not absolutely whiffed that shot. All right, now it's a 3v2. So they can shake down. Now they're shaken down. One person wall replacing, the other one just with a pump out. Easy pre-fire because, again, they've shaken down so they can see him through the walls. Oh my god, the Vico piece? Lovely. Mate, they fought so well. That was lovely. Alright, grappling the next team. These guys are already kind of waiting for them. Boogie bomb comes out. Okay, Vico, hit some shots, please. Nice. It's basically just a lot of, like, build fight mechanics. Trying to create 3 1v1s, just, like, pressuring all the way around. Using grapples to take height, and then that's basically it. That guy slurps. Nice. Then it's just a full spray, 3v2. Oh my god, he gets maxed. What's happened here, Flexi? Stop dying. And fight's over. Nice. Alright, they start third part in. Oh, they're already into a fight. So Vico's already a bit split from them. Notice how as Vino is approaching, he's still moving and pressuring. He's not like just support spraying by just standing still, kind of like the other guy was, as we mentioned before. He's trying to close the gap as he's support spraying. And another thing, there's this idea I have in my mind, which I call circling, right? In these kind of fights, Vino is doing what I like to call circling, right? So the trees are kind of in the way here, which makes this kind of difficult. But see how this fight is kind of like a big square where, let me draw this, where it's like, you know, this fight is like this of a square. And the way Vino's been moving here is he basically wrapped up, let me change the color. He basically wrapped up around the edge and wrapped up all the way here. And now he's wrapping all the way around again. So he's not like running over the top because then you might get shot from left, you might get shot from right. So he's circling the edge of the fight like this to try and look for shots and look for angles, which is like, if you're in an aggressive fight and you're fighting people who are defensive and they're reboxing and stuff like that, this is like a really good way to try and get damage off. Try to get angles that they don't expect. See, as he comes around the back there, unfortunately he hits nothing, but jumps in. This kid's weak. Max damage. Now, how many fish do these guys got? Jesus. And it's just a matter of getting in. I love the playstyle difference where Vino's being really slow and he replaces, whereas Flixi's just like running straight in. And the last player's left alive. It's just a matter of just full pressure. This kid's just gonna die in one way or another. Nothing fancy, just spraying. Man, they all had so many fish. Now these guys have all the fish. Oh my god, there's even more. Yeah, so obviously these guys found, what'd you call it? A vending machine at some point to get all of this fish. And like, look how broken that is. 40 white or shield, and they have 6 of them. It's so grief. Alright, there's a free fight behind them. So someone got knocked here. So I think that was a snipe. Let me watch that. I love... Vino is so good at sniping. It's crazy. If there was an FNCS this season, I would put Vino winning it with snipers alone. Ignore that shot. Wait for the next one. These guys are so overpeaking. That looked like a no-scope. That's so funny. But it's just, again, obviously because replay mode sucks. They're going for the double res. Flixie and Vico, as they grapple towards, immediately double spray to try and cancel it. They did get the res off. Vino gets sprayed from the side. They don't actually get any kills here, which is crazy. They actually don't manage to get that kill. Oh, and another snipe too. Oh, but someone comes to the back. So I don't think he'll be able to actually end up finishing that, maybe. Oh, no, no. Flixies and all that have just are right on it immediately. No way is how they lose. You can take storm ticks to cancel the boogie bombs, by the way. I think they lose this game, though. Oh my god, that's so funny. Just lost. Man, this guy's fucking booga. Wait, I've got to watch that from... Hold on, hold on. Oh my god, the amount of times they boogie bombed themselves there. Alright, let's see. Who's at fault for the boogie bomb? Get rid of the tree. Don't build. Okay, Vino might be at fault. Vino might be at fault. He built in the way there. Oh, that's so funny. Nice shot. Good height hold. Oh, with the angle. Good bang with a pump. Boogie just... Can't believe we lost that. Oh, this guy actually... I bet there's a clip of that on Twitter. This guy feels like absolute booger. By the way, don't boogie bomb people last moving zone when they're out of storm, because a single storm tick makes them lose the effect. I mean, it's worth it in that scenario, but like, don't use it as a play that you think will work. Cool. Learn a lot about the meta.